Big Fish event? Yeah, man, it was awesome. Yeah, so it's run by Brian Chontosh. Tosh is a Marine officer, Navy Cross recipient, all around great dude. And he created the Big Fish Foundation. It's basically to help with mental and physical wellness for veterans. Basically trying to prevent the suicide rates and just help with getting veterans back on track, right? Kind of finding them, showing them that there's highs and lows of when you get out, when you transition out of the military, and a lot of veterans they lose their sense of purpose, and they start to, or they have PTSD or whatever other type of mental issue, and their cause is really great. It's just trying to help those service men and women to find a purpose again, and not to make decisions in lows or highs, right? Like, we'll get into these very, very low states, and then people make these big decisions, right? And it's pretty terrible. And so they're giving back and trying to just help out where they can with that. And so he does this thing every year. This is the second one. It's called the Diesel Day. And so it's basically where last time it was like six of us. So the event I did last year where we ran on the hour, like 2.5 miles every hour until everyone quit. And this one was cool. He invited 5 athletes, and then he had 5 veterans come in, one from each branch of the military service. So we had an Army, a Navy, a Marine, an Air Force, and then he didn't have a Coast Guard person, but he got a Border Patrol person. And so what happened was we had 3-hour blocks. It was a 30-hour event, and we had 3-hour blocks. So he paired each pro athlete with a veteran, and so during your 3-hour block in that pair, for an hour and a half of it, you would do a 1.2 mile trail loop, and in that loop there was this big hill. It's probably like, I'm gonna guess 400 meters ish of a hill, and it was the incline was steep, very steep. I don't know the exact incline, but then what he had done is he had cut these trees down and made these logs, and painted the ends of the logs, colored them like a few different colors. So you had gold, red, blue, and white. Each log represented each color represented points. And so during your hour and a half with this veteran, you could only grab one log per loop, and so you obviously tried to get your most points. And so you did that loop as many times as you could in the hour and a half. At the other hour and a half, you had to do an echo. One person was on the echo bike, riding for distance, and then one person was doing burpees, and burpees added points. And so that was one 3-hour block. You got paired up with the same veteran twice, and so the other 3-hour block you were with that same veteran, you did the same thing. You did the hour and a half with the trail loop, but the other hour and a half, you did a row and a sandbag hold. So you had a 135-pound sandbag for men, and I can't remember what it was for women, maybe 85 pounds or something like that. And so while one person could row, and for distance you got points, but you could only be rowing if the person was holding the sandbag, and you had to hold it in like a bear hug type position. So yeah, it was really cool. It was really awesome. It was very mentally challenging. Anytime if I've done anything where you're losing sleep, you're gonna go through these highs and lows, and that's kind of what Tosh is trying to represent, right? That we all go through these ups and downs of emotions and feelings, and no matter who you are. And so typically when you're doing an endurance event like that, it's around like the 15-hour mark that you really see, that's typically where you see some fall off, right? You see some people start to break down, and it was cool because we had a pair, right? So you had your buddy there to help you. So if you were feeling really crappy, your buddy could try to pick you up, or other way around, or anybody in the group could try to pick you up. But everyone was going to go through it. Everyone was going to go through these ups and lows. Very, very much mimicking life as anybody, really, not just the veterans, but anybody, right? And so It was a really, really cool event. You guys can still donate to it. Big Fish Foundation, go check it out. I had a blast. I definitely went through some lows around the 18-hour mark. I was pretty much over it. I was like, I am done. My legs were smoked. My back was smoked. I think I got behind on my hydration and my nutrition a little bit, which is really hard to come back. It's hard if you don't keep up with what I've learned in my years of doing this stuff now. Is like you have to keep up with nutrition and hydration. It's huge. It's key. And so I definitely fell behind, and I started to feel those low moments where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I had to not only check myself in my own brain, but like have people help me out, and it was great. It was a great event. I definitely walked away with a lot, and I built some camaraderie with some great people, some phenomenal athletes. James Hobart was there. He crushed it, was doing great. Carlene Matthews, former Games athlete, was there as well. She was also she's just had a baby 9 months ago and was breast pumping, milk in the middle of in her little bit of breaks. There were no built-in breaks of the 30 hours. The only breaks you got were the ones that you took where you weren't scoring points. And I mean, she was in her little bit of downtime. She's pumping breast milk and freaking being a rock star and crushing it. And Brista Mayfield, who was at last year's as well, absolutely dominant. She actually ended up winning the whole thing. She had the most points, and always impressive to watch her. And then just getting to meet these veterans and hear their stories and watch them put in work, and it was awesome, man. It was such a great event, such a cool thing. So go check that out, Big Fish Foundation. Brian Chontosh, check him out, stud animal, doing phenomenal things for the veteran community. So go check that out. That's where I was just at last week, and so that's my little recap on it.